The 21st Century Shahrazad, Resisting Racial Stereotypes Through Storytelling in Mildred Kahf's Emails from Shahrazad. This video examines Emails from Shahrazad by Mildred Kahf as Arab American poetry that narrates the diasporic lives and influences of Arab Americans as a 21st century Shahrazad, highlighting the power of words and narratives through works related to immigrant identity and using storytelling to avoid not literal death as in the Arab folktale, but figurative and cultural death of a silenced minority, resisting racial stereotypes by giving them a voice. Arab American literature is a fast-growing field, and many writers in the field utilize poetry as an outlet of expression, of voicing desperation for difficult diaspora experiences in the modern world where remnants of Orientalism still seems to be thriving. Moja Kahf, a Syrian-American writer, is one such poet who through her poems seeks to not only resist racial stereotypes and voice the voiceless, but also celebrate the richness of her Arabic culture and Islamic and hyphenated identity in the globalized modern world. She does this through harnessing the powers of storytelling as a modern Shahrazad, dealing with the issues of the Muslim Arab American community. Poet and scholar Moja Kahf was born in Damascus, Syria. Her family moved to the United States in 1971, and Kahf grew up in the Midwest. She earned a Ph.D. in comparative literature from Rutgers University and is the author of the poetry collection Hagar Poems and Emails from Shahrazad and the novel The Girl in the Tangerine Scarf. Kahf's experiences growing up in the United States shaped her perception of the differences and similarities between the cultures of her home and adopted countries. Her poetry is an amalgam of both Syrian and American influences. Of the Arab-American issues Kahf deals with, one main recurring theme readers can see from her poetry is how much Arab Americans must compromise and negotiate with their white American environment in order to fit in order to be deemed as safe and normal. This compromise extends their sense of identity, where they must oscillate between their halves, Arab half and American half. In order to deal with such issues, Kahf, through Emails from Shahrazad, produces realistic, human portrayals of the Arab people and culture, especially of Muslim women who are either thought to be brainwashed puppets stripped of autonomy, or renegades that are rebels against Muslim law and trade them over for Western gender roles. Kahf purposefully chooses the trope of Shahrazad, the most famous as well as wise and powerful Arab woman character, present women characters that do not conform to these stereotypes. The following are two poems, Email from Shahrazad and Hijab Scene 3, in the collection Emails from Shahrazad. Email from Shahrazad. Hi babe, it's Shahrazad. I'm back for the millennium and living in Hackensack. User G. I tell stories for a living. You ask if there is a living in that. You must remember, where I come from, words are to die for. I saved the virgins from beheading by the king, who was killing them to still the beast of doubt in him. I told a story. He began to listen, and I found that story led to story. Powers unleashed. I wound the thread around the trim of night. 1,000 days later, we got divorced. Settled down and wanted a wife, and not so much an artist. I wanted publication. It was hardest, strangely, on my sister, Dunyazad. She was the one who nightly used to start it. She and my ex do workshops now in schools on art and conflict resolution. They're the rules. I teach creative writing at Montclair State, and I'm on my 7th novel and book. Shahryar and I share custody of our little girl. We split up amicably. I taught him to heal, his violent streaks through stories, after all, and he helped me to uncover my true call. Hijab Scene 3. Would you like to join the PTA? She asked, tapping her clipboard with her pen. I would, I said, but it was no good. She wasn't seeing me. Would you like to join the PTA? She repeated. I would, I said, but I could have been antimatter. A regular American mother next to me shrugged. I would. I sent up flares, beat on drums, waved Navy flags, tried smoke signals, American Sign Language, Morse code, Western Union, telex, fax. Lieutenant Uhara tried hailing her for me on another frequency. Damn it, Jim. I'm a Muslim woman, not a Klingon. But the positronic force field of hijab jammed all her cosmic coordinates. Can we save the ship we're both on? Can we save the dilithium crystals? An email from Shahrazad. A modern Shahrazad reaches out to a friend and nonchalantly narrates what happened so far in her life, and comments that she has realized after hundreds of years what she wants to do, is meant to do, and that is to tell stories for a living, because, according to her, words are to die for. Words are what has raised her status up so, and even cleared her husband of his violent streaks. Humor, another important aspect of storytelling, is also generously speckled throughout the book, especially in Hijab Scene 3, where the speaker unveils the negative views of Islamic wear in America by using popular culture sci-fi references to Star Trek, likening her hijab to an impenetrable force field. Damn it, Jim. I'm a Muslim woman, not a Klingon, is a line readers cannot help but laugh at the same time, elucidates the state of a Muslim woman's visibility as dangerously threatening as an ethnic other. Kahf raises such issues throughout her poetry to not only bring it to light, but to attack it at its roots by storytelling as a means of resistance, words of power and potential fortune. Thank you for listening.